my brothers here. Hold up. Hold up, because they talking. I see the people saying like, yo, Joe, I know who's coming. I don't know how you heard about it, but it's on. This is such a huge guest that I didn't even want to announce it.
Joe, what up, bro?
Yo, Napoleon, first of all, salam alaikum, my brother.
Walaikum salam. How's everything?
Alhamdulillah.
You got the Arabic down packed, bro.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm in Dubai all the time. I know you live out of Saudi Arabia now.
Yeah, bro. Saudi Arabia going on 10 years now, man.
10 years in Saudi. You just went in there.
I just went in there, man.
Wow,
10 years.
Everybody, if y'all don't know who this is Napoleon, the Outlaws, Tupac. I would say Biggie had Junior Mafia, Pac had the Outlaws. Is that correct?
Correct.
How'd you met? Before I go into the Pac shit I want to know, rest in peace, Tupac Shakur, ahead of his time, beyond an icon, beyond a genius, beyond a, you know, he predicted shit like this that was going on 25 years later. Sure. What made you move to Saudi Arabia? I'm intrigued because I always say, if I ever leave the United States, I'm moving to Dubai. What made you say, yo, I'm gonna just leave the U.S. and go to Saudi Arabia?
You know, man, I became Muslim after accepting the religion of Islam, man. I've been coming back and forth to the Middle East, to Dubai and Saudi Arabia for years. So, you know, it's a peaceful environment. And I wanted to raise my kids in an environment that was just different, man. So, you know, you feel it when you go to Dubai. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah, man. So I said, man, I got to get to Saudi. And once I came here, man, you know, it's a lot of us out here, bro. We got homies from New York, New Jersey, Compton, Los Angeles. We got Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. It's a lot of us out here, bro.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
And do you go to like Mecca every year? Do you like, is that a yearly thing when everybody's at Mecca or?
Yeah, the Hajj is a yearly thing. You know, I try to go there as much as I can. I only been to Hajj twice. I've been to Mecca for the pilgrimage for about 14, 15 times. You know what I mean?
Wow, man.
Beautiful
and for
thing.
those of you who don't know, it's like if you ever watched the movie Malcolm X, it's where Malcolm X, at least from what I've studied in history, is like where he really got woke.
For sure.
When he went out there,
that's when he was like, able to come. For sure.
Yeah,
that's when Malcolm X was able to come, man. It seemed real, like he seen real brotherhood. You know what I mean? And it changed him, man.
Yeah, because it's Muslims and everybody's Muslim, but there's like different like sects to the religion, right? Like so Nation of Islam, they might be they study Muslim, but they different from what you do in Saudi Arabia, correct?
Correct. You know what I mean? Nation of Islam would be more towards, you know, geared towards black people in America. You know, Islam, the religion as a whole, is for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, we got Mexicans out here, white Americans, Europeans, Puerto Rico, you know what I mean? They got 7 mashes on the island now. Fastest growing religion there, you know what I mean? So it's growing. You know what I mean?
So on the island, the Muslim religion is growing on the island of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, bro. 1980 in Puerto Rico, they didn't have 1 mosque. Now they got 7. You know what I mean? So it shows that the religion is growing. Yeah, man.
And misrepresentation of Muslims is let's just say the wild pack, right? Because every Muslim I ever met was peaceful, was beautiful people. Was peaceful.
Love that, man. Appreciate that, bro.
That's a fact, though. Little Rashid on the check-in. So now we go. How do you meet Tupac Shakur?
You know, I met Pac from Gaddafi. Gaddafi is one of the members of the Outlaws. Pac and Gaddafi their parents grew up in the Black Panthers. They came up in the Black Panther Party together. Me and Gaddafi was childhood friends, his mother knew my family. You know what I mean? So when I ran into his mom's, man, I was like 14, 15 years old, and I was on the block every day, you know what I mean, hungry, trying to get away from the neighborhood. And when I ran into his mom, after falling out of contact with her, I told her I was rapping. And she was like, my son, he's also rapping. His brother is Tupac Shakur. At this time, Pac, he was known, you know what I mean? He already put out one album, so I knew who he was. And at this particular time, Pac spent a lot of time in New York. So she was like, man, if you serious, you want to get in the music industry, go to New York, go meet Pac. I hopped on a train. You know, Newark, 30 minutes, Irvington, 30 minutes from New York, man. So I hopped on a train, went to Manhattan. And from that day, man, I just been connected with him. You know what I mean? That was like, I would say 1993.
Man, that's crazy. I used to see Pac all over New York at that time. He used to be with homeboy, rest in peace, Stretch. And
Big Stretch.
Every time Napoleon, I seen Tupac, Fat Joe, he was on some shit. I don't know how to explain it to you. Like, the first time I met Tupac, I was in Atlanta. It was something called, I think it was Jack the Rapper conference. And it was me, the Wu-Tang guys was there. And Pac, I didn't know it was Pac, but he came up with a red bandana. And he had 2 guns in his hand. And this is the first time I ever met Tupac in my life. He had 2 guns in his hand. And it's crazy. He was like, yo, what up, crack? And I was like, yo, what up? And he was like, it's me, it's Pop. So when he pulled it down, I was like, oh shit, what's up, my brother? And then, you know, I would always see him beating people up. I'm keeping it real. Like,
for sure.
I'm going through Harlem one day. He's in some shit. Yeah, like, one time I caught him in the club. He showed me the hammer, talking about he looking for somebody. I mean, he always stayed in some shit. And I was, every time I met Tupac Shakur, he was on some shit. Shout out Steve Lobel.
Yeah, Steve Lobel.
For making this happen, right?
For sure.
And so, so Tupac, that's how I met him. And every time, and I was telling the story last week when him and Biggie did the I Got 7 Mac 11s about 8:38. I was on stage with them.
Wow.
I was with them. So I was at the show, Madison Square Garden. Big Daddy Kane was headlining. And so Pac and Big came in. You know how Pac do? He walking through the crowd and he you know, he was on purpose with everything. So he probably was an original 50 Cent, Trump, like, I mean, like, this guy knew how to stir up the pot. So he walking through the crowd, the whole crowd going crazy, juices out. Him and Biggie walking through. They see me, they like, yo, crack, come on. So I come with them. So they do the, I got 7 Mac 11s, they do that. And then when they try to pass me the mic, and you know, when Pac said, you know, my niggas in the pen, here we go again, right? So they was like, yo, Joe Crack, passing me the mic. And Big Daddy Kane was like, yo, chill. It's not enough time yet. I got to finish the show. It's only 2 minutes left. So, you know, I'm salty at Kane, but I love him. He's a living legend, an icon. But, so I've been around historical events with Tupac. You and you guys, so you never knew Biggie. You never had a personal beef with Biggie. You was just holding down Pac.
Definitely, man. It was that. You know what I mean? My loyalty was with Pac, man. He came and got me from the middle of the hood. You know what I mean? I was 13, 14 years old selling crack, trying to sell drugs. Pac took me from that situation. So my loyalty was with him. You know what I mean? Anybody he had beef with, I'm blindly just following that. You know what I mean? I never met Biggie personally. I never met, some of the Outlaws met him. You know what I mean? They knew him before the things went sour. So when I came around, when I first came around, they were still cool. You know what I mean? But when Pac got shot in New York, that's when everything started changing. That's when I seen that he was like, you know what? You know, that these dudes got, you know, Pac never really said Biggie had something to do with it. He was just upset that he felt Biggie knew it was going to happen and why he didn't step in it. That was Pac thing the whole time. You know what I mean?
And that's very important, right? Because when you hear who shot you and all that, people try to insinuate that Biggie did that. And I wanted to ask you, did Pac really think Biggie set him up in that studio or not?
You know, Pac was like, man, he felt, you know, Pac is like, man, I get invited to the studio. This was his exact words. I get shot, I get robbed. And it seemed like majority of the top MCs of New York is upstairs in the studio at that time. And it felt fishy. So Pac's like, I want answers. So Pac's situation was like, the reason why he was really mad at Biggie, because Biggie was saying, you know, we from the streets, you from the streets. Biggie was saying he's the king of New York. So if you the king of New York and I'm getting robbed and shot in your territory, you might not have nothing to do with it, but streets talk. At least let me know who done it. You know what I mean? And words was getting back to Pac that Biggie knew this was going to happen. So, but Pac never felt he set him up. He was just like, look, man, you the king of New York. I need my answers. You knew this was going to happen to me. Why didn't you tell me? So that's what Pac was on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, with both of them, if this same type of shit would have happened 2020, I think they both would have lived. But being that they were like the first to have this epic beef and war, unfortunately, they became martyrs for hip hop. So Biggie was my brother, right? So I know Biggie since day one, right? And he was such a beautiful guy. I'm telling you the truth. He's such a beautiful guy, man. He was a nice guy. And there was times, I'm not gonna lie to you, there was one time Pac and Suge and everybody came to New York and they was flexing crazy hard. I'm gonna tell you something you might not want to hear, but me and you,
I want to hear.
Deal. So and D-Rock, if you're listening, you know, you told me before many a times that I should say the story, so I'm gonna say the story. So they over here, me, I didn't know I was gonna be Fat Joe now. So I got one song out, Biggie's my man, and I'm still wild for the night, right? So I run up on Big and I'm saying, yo, Big, they in town. Like, let's go step to them niggas. I had 20 niggas with me. Let's go ride on these niggas. And Big was like, yo, I'm not even beefing with these niggas like that. Like, it ain't like, I could tell you as a man. And this is voila. You understand what I'm saying? Biggie looked at me and told me, yo, it ain't no real beef with them, Joe, like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no beef with them. Well, at that particular time, that's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, nah, Joe, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? And so I heard it from his mouth that he wasn't really on it like that. You know what I'm saying? He knew I was wild. He knew I had, you know, you gotta understand Fat Joe 1992 is not Fat Joe now.
For sure.
you understand what I'm saying? And
for sure.
And so what's crazy is I heard you in an interview recently. Right? So you know I never told these stories. Yo, let me tell you something, Napoleon. I tell stories and everybody thinks I'm full of shit. Like they think, yo, this is too much. Guy's a liar. No, for real. He's a liar. He's straight a liar. There's no way it's true. And then sooner or later, like when I tell you that story about Big Daddy Kane, I told that story to I think Pat Poose, because it's his favorite rapper. And somebody said, yo, Fat Joe, stay lying. And Big Daddy Kane hit him back on the comments like, nah, he telling the truth. Right? So like this story, I never told nobody about this. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But I heard you tell the story on an interview yourself, and I said, damn, like, you know, so I said, yo, let me get Napoleon on here. And so what made you do this interview when you was talking about Fat Joe, let's just say?
Yeah, shout out to Steve Lobel, man, for making this happen. You know, Steve Lobel is family, man. And also, you know, the interview was with a YouTube show, The Art of Dialogue. They do a lot of stuff about Pac. They try to clarify a lot of things about Pac and his life and things like that. And I think I seen a post or some comments on The Art of Dialogue was when you mentioned how you was doing an album with Biggie. You did an album with Biggie, but after Pac died, you scratched the album. So, you know, Pac got some diehard fans and they crazy. You know what I mean? So I was reading the comments and I'm like, these jokers are crazy, but they don't know that, for example, when Pac did hit him up, you know what I mean? And he said, anybody in New York that want it, bring it. So from the street standpoint of view, real street dudes that's in the music industry going to reply. And Pac know that, you know what I mean? Pac understand that's how it comes. So when I heard that you did the song with Biggie, the album, I told people, I said, look, that's the only thing, that's what he's supposed to do. Everybody that know you, they know you verified. You know what I mean? You're authentic. Everybody know that. You know, they know. I remember when you first came out with the video and you was in the Bronx. This one rappers was putting real guns in the videos. You had the army, the Green Army joke. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I remember you from way back then, and the stories have circulated. Steve Lobel, so we knew, you know what I mean? So I was telling the people, I said, look, man, Fat Joe a real street dude. You know what I mean? So when Pac came at New York, it's only right that everybody in New York ain't soft. Everybody in New York ain't gonna keep their mouth shut. Pac was ready for that. You know what I mean? But it was respect that you done what you done by, you know, scratching the album, saying I'm not gonna put it out. So, and I had to explain to the people that even Pac told us, I heard it out of his mouth, that when he was up north in Clinton, he said that Joe Peoples, he was like, man, Fat Joe People held me down. You know what I mean? Pac said it. He said, man, Fat Joe had some people that was locked up. They showed me a lot of love. And I tell the people all the time.
I'm going to tell you how that happened, right?
Yeah.
So one day when Pac was locked up, I was doing an interview on Hot 97. And they had, you could tell me if I'm talking too much or you're uncomfortable. You tell me.
Nah, this your thing, man. Do your thing, bro.
I'm not. So I'm on Hot 97. They asked me, yo, what's up with the East Coast? And you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was mad ignorant at the time. And I was like, Doc, for real. I was like, yo, I don't know how niggas diss in New York, you know, that type of talk. And
yeah,
it had got back to me that dudes that was locked up with Pac heard it, and so now they was talking like, we gonna have beef with Pac because we heard Joe on the radio talking about he got a problem with Pac. So I believe it was Greg Nice, and he was real tight with Pac.
Yeah.
So Greg Nice hit me up, and he told me, yo, I didn't want to go that, you know, I can't even go there, because I never told this story completely. So Greg Nice came up to me and said, yo, you know, you talking and the Spanish niggas trying to make it real uncomfortable for Tupac up there. You know what I'm saying? Because you said on the radio this and this and that. So what had happened was I really didn't have beef with Tupac personally. So I made the calls and let them niggas know, like, yo, like anybody else would do for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just repping New York or whatever the case may be. Plus, I also knew that Biggie ain't really wanted to go there personally. So I made the call and I told them niggas, like, yo, if anything, hold him down. Be like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's Tupac. And then that's what he must have told you, like, Fat Joe People was holding him down in that.
That was love, man. He you know what I mean? He remember that. And I was also, you know, in the story, in the interview, I also had to bring up, and Steve LaBelle forgot about it. You might not remember, man, after Pac died, when you came to LA, this was a time, man, the Outlaws, we was considered the troublemakers of the music industry. You know, every time we go into a club or get invited, we were starting fights. So nobody wanted us on the radio stations. Nobody invited us to no events. And when you came to LA, you called us up, was like, man, I'm on a radio station, come up here. We went up to the radio station, Steve LaBelle, all of us, and you was on the radio. You like, look, man, this is the West Coast. Y'all saying y'all got love for Pac, and these is homies right here. You know what I mean? And y'all blackballing them pretty much. So you was looking out for us when it was unexpected, because you from New York. You know what I mean? We doing music, even though we from Jersey, most of us, we doing music, you know, going at New York cats. But when Pac passed away, some dudes that we thought was family pretty much turned their back. You reached out to us, was like, yo, y'all come on a radio station. Then when we was in New York, you might not remember this, you had an album release party. You know what I mean? You have an album release party. I was there, the Outlaws. My whole hood was there. Jersey was there. But everybody you can name was in that at your party. I'm talking about Mobb Deep. People that we supposed to have beef with was there. You know what I mean? And you was like, we never performed in New York. So you came to us and you was like, look, man, I want y'all to perform at my party.
Ain't that a fucking crime? All your records get played in New York. Y'all never got to perform in New York.
We never got to perform.
Crime for hip hop. It's a crime. But go ahead, finish. I saw in the police.
Yeah, so you was like, so this one I knew you was 100% solid. You know what I mean? You was like, look, man, y'all can perform whatever y'all want. Y'all want to perform Hit 'em Up, because Hit 'em Up was still controversial. It was still, you know what I mean? You was like, if you want to perform Hit 'em Up, I got y'all. This New York, y'all with me, y'all my guests, ain't nothing gonna happen to y'all.
Nothing.
And you was like, you know who in the building, but I'm gonna leave that to y'all. You was like, but it's good to be mature. You know what I mean? You was like, it's good to be mature and maybe not do it, but I'm gonna let y'all make that decision. And so we huddled, you know what I mean? And we was like, you know what I mean? Maybe it ain't a good idea to try to come to New York and people backyard, you know what I mean? We guess here and try to do that song that's gonna steer controversy. So we didn't do it. And you was like, man, y'all really did something mature. You know what I mean? So that's when I realized, like, this dude's solid. You know what I mean? And it took a dude from the East Coast to New York, who we was once going at, to show us love, to bring us back, you know what I mean? To take us on tour, to do songs, you know what I mean? To get on the radio. So that was love, man. You know what I mean?
Yo, let me explain something. It's about music. It's about the culture. It's about hip hop. I was brought up by the pioneers to embrace them and love them for the culture. Just like y'all, I share a sweet spot for Little Kim and season them. So even with Little Kim, you know, I got a little, not beef, but you know, Nicki Minaj never liked me again because I was in the Breakfast Club, and they was like, when she was going at Little Kim, and I was like, yo, that's Little Kim, B. Like, I was like, you know, like, that's big. When I see her, I see Biggie. There's just no way around it. And I'm like, you know, Kim opened the door, whatever. So I always embrace them just like you, because you know what? I don't like being fake. I've never been fake, right? So there's no way I could be loving Biggie, right? And then he passed away, and I could treat Little C's or Kim less than. If he's really my brother and I know he loved them, I gotta show him love. And so, like, we over the East Coast, West Coast beef. Tupac is dead. I know he loved y'all. Hip hop love y'all. New York plays your music. I'm like, yo, fuck it. Like, let's bring out the Outlaws. Let's let them get some burn on the stage. This is hip hop.
Man.
And
that was a monumental night, bro.
Huh?
That was a monumental, historical night. You know what I mean? We never forget that, bro. That was historical, bro.
And I mean it when I say nothing was gonna happen to you. They all looked at
me like, we knew, bro.
Bringing them out.
The Puerto Ricans was deep, man. We seen it. You know what I mean?
Joe bringing them out, you can forget it. Like, it's a done deal. Let's rock out. Let's party to the songs.
Yeah, so we seen it, man. And you know what's crazy? Because years ago, right before I moved to Saudi Arabia, I spoke with Lil C's. You know what I mean? He squat, because I left the music industry. The Outlaws kept doing music. I came and did my own thing, started doing my business, and you know, I decided to get away from it, man. But they did a song with Lil C's. You know, Young Noble and Lil C's got on the phone. First, they got on the phone screaming at each other. You know what I mean? And then the conversation went from, you know what, man, it's 20-something years later. Let's sit down like men, and they end up doing something together. So when I spoke to Lil C's, I said, man, give me his number, and we talk like men. And it was like, bro, Lil C's was, he was with Junior Mafia, what I was with the Outlaws. We both were short status. He was Biggie, man. I was Pop Pitbull. Whenever something go, Pop like, move, get him. And I was there. You know what I mean? So I was able to talk to this dude like a man. And we was able to say, you know what, man, we really beefing over something that we never really met each other. You know what I mean? Both our homies passed away. It took the life of both of them for us to even come to the situation, unfortunately, but we was able to do it. You know what I mean? We was able to talk, we was able to sit down, and even to this day, it's nothing but love. You know what I mean?
Man, I appreciate that, man, because hip-hop, we need to be unified. We need to know that we really love each other, and that we got a fraternity with each other that, you know what I mean? They try to make us think that we don't love each other. They try to make us go against each other. But the truth is, you know, when somebody in hip hop is hurt, I'm hurt too. So, you know, so now you're a part of this. I mean, because that's it. When you say top five, somebody says Tupac, somebody says Biggie. Who's the greatest of all time? Tupac, Biggie. What's the illest shit? Tupac, Biggie, and you was there. And did you know while this was all going down, not just beef, but just being with Pac, did you know he was that special that he would be like the Bob Marley of hip hop?
I think at that time, man, we didn't really see it. You know what I mean? I knew he was talented, hands down. Like, we was in the studio when we went to Death Row. I knew it was something when they was shocked how his work ethic was. You know what I mean? We thought it was the norm for him to get in the studio. We thought every rapper did that, get in the studio, do 3 to 5 songs a day.
No, they didn't.
Until you seen the rest of the Death Row, like, wait a minute, man, none of us working like this. So I knew he was special from that standpoint of view. You know what I mean? He was a hard worker. And a lot of people don't know that side of Pop, man, that he was an individual that he did a lot of stuff for people behind the scenes. You know what I mean? He was an individual that if he hit, for example, he hit somebody in the hospital, you know what I mean? Like, you got stories where you hear like a little girl that was in Atlanta got, you know, attacked by some dogs, some pit bulls or Rottweilers, and it was in the hospital, and Pop watching it on the news, and it touched him, and he would be like, he would go to the hospital, pay her hospital bills. You know what I mean? Took care of her. And I think even to this day, that family is still connected with his family. So he used to do these things behind the scenes, and he used to make sure the media and these things didn't see it. So he had that side of him. You know what I mean? Of course, the media only portrayed that one side, and that's why I have a book, of autobiography coming out, and I try to show that side of the book of Pop. You know what I mean? That Pop had a side in him that the media was only trying to make it seem like he was this wild cat. He was wild, don't get me wrong, but he was 25 years old when he passed away. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So he did a lot of stuff, man. 25 years old
when he passed away. Him and Big, and
for sure.
So with Death Row, you brought up Death Row, right? And everybody says, yo, Tupac wanted to leave Death Row. Him and Suge had problems. Every little movie I ever seen this up, it makes it look like, and I don't know. I'm waiting for you to answer the right answer, and you Pac's right-hand man, but it didn't look like Tupac had a problem with Suge Knight to me.
He didn't. You know what I mean? Suge and Pop, they was homies. You know what I mean? Suge looked at Pop like a little brother. I never heard Pop, you know what I mean, say he was leaving Death Row. We lived with Pop up until he passed away. Like, we lived in the same house with him. We watched his every move. We, you know what I mean? He shared intimate talks with us, everything. So if he was leaving Death Row, he would have let us know. You know what I mean? Pop, what he was trying to do, he was trying to start his own record label under Death Row. You know what I mean? That's why the Outlaws, we never signed to Death Row until after Pop died, because Pop used to say, I don't want y'all to sign to Death Row, because once I do Machiavelli record or Euthanasia Records, I forget what he was naming it, it was going to be under Death Row. So from what I seen, he wasn't, you know what I mean, leaving Death Row. You know, him and Suge had a good relationship. They was tight. You know, it was love.
And it showed to me, you know, from me, you know, I think I'm a good judge of character, but it showed to me that they had like a real bond, you know, a brotherhood bond. And I know because when I took Pun under the wing and he was my little brother, and people can't tell me how I felt about Pun. Like, I love him so much. When I met him, I'm his big brother. He my little brother. And and so, like, you know, we's always gonna big each other up and blow each other up. And it's just so many misconceptions, and some people be like, you know, people crazy. So they like really be, people are crazy. You know, real, bro. You know people are crazy. Like, you done heard some shit that you done said to yourself, like, Jesus Christ, like, how they thinking of that now? Like,
fact.
You know what I mean? Because you know, we hear stuff like, yo, Suge Knight killed Tupac. This shit don't make no sense.
It don't make sense. You know what I mean? For sure, man. We hear that, but you know what I mean? The streets know what happened. On the West Coast, we knew exactly what happened. You know what I mean? Like, when Suge after Pac got shot while he was in the hospital, Suge took me and a few other Outlaws. We was in a hotel. I think we went in the kitchen or somewhere on another level. He lifted up his shirt, man. He had a bullet in his chest. Bullet skinned his head. You know what I mean? There's no way.
There's no way to
if you want to kill your man. Yeah, you can't. If you want to kill your man, you ain't gonna say spray the car out. You know, Suge half the car. He's taking up half the car. You know, so he ain't gonna tell nobody to spray the car out. You know what I mean? And then his boys, you know what I mean? They shot back. A lot of people don't know that. That some of the people from the entourage, the entourage from Suge, you know what I mean? And in some police reports where they say, you know, they shot back. Buntry and them shot back. You know what I mean? So you ain't gonna tell a man shoot up the car and then tell your homie and make sure you shoot back at the car. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff don't make no sense. But it's these conspiracy theorists, man. They make up. You know what I mean? They run with it.
This is very delicate, but this is what we call a joker moment. This is a joker moment. This is nothing we never heard before. This is a joker moment. I know it's sensitive. I know it's sensitive.
For sure.
So Suge got shot in the head, stomach. His people shot back. So we could erase that rumor, right?
For sure, definitely.
And
definitely.
I'm not gonna go there, right? Because that's a different that's a whole different thing. So when you see these movies of who killed Biggie, who killed Tupac, are they even accurate or a little bit accurate when you watch it? Do you say like, yo, that's how it went down? Or you like, yo, this is some bullshit?
Man, definitely, I would say 90% of that joint, you know what I mean? These documentary, it's inaccurate, you know what I mean? You know the movie LT, my man, let me shout out LT because I see him, he's on here too, man. LT is the one that did the Pop movie. And when I first seen the Pop movie, and I told LT, because I spoke to LT maybe 2-3 months ago, and I told him I'm gonna go check it out again. You know what I mean? Because I was telling him I wasn't really feeling the movie. I said, but I'll go check it out because when I walked in the movie theater to watch it, I already was biased. Like, you know what? It's gonna be whack. I ain't really feeling it. So I told LT I'm gonna go check it out again, and he explained to me where he got the stories from and things to do it. But from what I seen, majority of them joints is inaccurate. You know what I mean? Majority of them joints is inaccurate. The movie, like LT told me, he tried to show another side of Pop. You know what I mean? There were some things in the movie I didn't agree with that I told LT. You know what I mean? Like he had scenes where it was like Suge was punking Pop. I said, that ain't never happened. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like Suge ain't never talked down on Pop and things like that. Their relationship was good, but Pop ain't having that anyway.
This is the type of
so
shit
it was some stuff.
So it must,
you know what I mean?
But it must have been, I mean, hey, Suge Knight in jail. He was a bad guy. But it must have been hard being him, hearing all these kind of rumors and all this fuck shit going on with, and movies that was inaccurate when he knew that him and Pac was brothers. I want to ask you a question. Not so direct, but do you think Pac was killed by a gang member or by something other than a gang member? You know, from what we know, it seems you
like
Saudi
it was in the hands of
Arabia.
a
I
gang
can't
member.
talk shit like that. You in Saudi, you good. You in Saudi. I'm asking you.
I'm good.
I'm asking you.
I'm back in LA every summer though.
I know. I'm saying. So all right. So I'm saying I'm not specifically saying. I'm saying, do you believe he was killed by a gang member or another force of energy? I mean, I'm trying. You know,
I get you. I definitely, you know, from what we know, it was definitely a gang member. You know what I mean? The involvement, but ain't no telling who be behind the scenes and who working with who. You know what I mean? Like Malcolm X, we know who killed Malcolm X, but then they start saying some other things behind it. You know what I mean?
Man, it's so crazy.
We don't know.
You so Muslim, you move out to the Holy Land, Saudi Arabia, and now they got a new documentary that's saying the Muslims from Newark killed Malcolm X.
No, I seen it. You know what I mean? I seen it. You know what I mean?
What you thought about
crazy,
that,
man.
Malcolm X, who killed? But anyway,
I think you know what I mean.
This another Joker moment. Napoleon, Pac's right-hand man, said he believes it to be another gang member, him and everybody in LA. I didn't know that. People always telling me that because he spoke so much consciousness, they think them boys did that. Like, so
you never know if them boys probably knew it was gonna happen. They probably made it easier to happen. You know what I mean? But
sure, they watch,
you know, it came
they watch shit like that happen all the time.
Yeah, they let it happen, man. They been having phone taps. You know what I mean? They been following Death Row. They been had the phone taps. So I'm sure they knew what was gonna happen. You know what I mean? And they probably could have stopped it if they wanted to.
The other day, I listened to Changes by Pac and all this shit. You know, it's a pandemic. We ain't never have like 100 years. This shit ain't happened. And then everything that's going on, they killed George Floyd and Aubrey. And, you know, it's a real emotional time. And then the Changes came on and I listened and, you know, I felt like my eyes got watery because, you know, I like Pac for the gangster records, but that one really, really hit me when I heard it because it felt like he was a prophet, like he was talking about times like now.
It was ahead of his time, you know what I mean? His music was, you know what I mean? He spoke about these things that it wasn't cool for rappers. Like Pac had that street image. And it wasn't cool for rappers to talk about these things back then, you know what I mean? But that was more Pac roots, you know what I mean? His roots and his origin that came from the Black Panther was really doing these conscious raps, you know what I mean? That's where he came from. That's why even Changes is before he even went to Death Row. They just put it out later, you know what I mean? But if people look at Pac history, he started off with that type of music. His music started changing. And he said it himself when he got shot, you know what I mean? The lady said that he raped her. He started feeling anger, and that's when he started doing these fouls and blacking out. But his music was always conscious, always trying to uplift the people, always trying to have a positive message in it, you know what I mean? To the best of his ability.
Yeah, I never believed Pac raped her. I'm keeping it a
course
buck.
not.
I don't want ladies to get mad at me, the Me Too, whatever. I don't know. I never believed that.
The evidence was there. The evidence was there, man. He definitely didn't do that, you know what I mean?
So you think they took it out on him, like everything else he was doing, like OJ. OJ
they
might
want
did this shit. OJ might listen. Chances are OJ did that shit. I'm keeping it a buck, right?
You just gave me a joke. I gave
you a joker moment. Listen, OJ, right? But listen. So he wins the most historical case. He's supposed to move to Saudi Arabia, Africa, even the Bahamas, man. Like,
he should have got out.
You can't be flirting with the white people. Like OJ was walking in white restaurants after that, and after that he's OJ. And
he was doing the most. He was doing definitely doing the most.
Go. Like yo. And I said the craziest shit I ever seen. First of all, OJ wound up going to jail for something he didn't do, right? So let me get to the OJ, right?
Yeah.
OJ went to get his shit back that somebody stole from him.
Oh man!
And he go and get the shit they stole from him, and so they say he was kidnapping the guy. All that shit was bullshit. Right?
Yeah, they set him up, bro. He should have knew that. He should have seen that coming, man.
But the craziest shit is the lady judge from OJ's court case. I'll never forget. We waiting for the verdict. They got it on CNN. She comes in drinking a Starbucks, right? So OJ's guilty already of sentencing. He don't fuck. Yeah. You know you don't fucked up, right? You know you don't fucked up, right? Like he's sitting there like, okay, all right, I'm guilty. Are they gonna give me a normal 2 years? Are they gonna blaze it? She went up in there, she was saying, she never even looked at him. I never forget this. It was the scariest shit in the world. I'm looking at the sentencing. She comes in with a Starbucks, a big one, like an extra large. She sipped it. In the case of Orenthal, this and that, 31 years. Okay, everything is like, yo, she didn't she was like, oh, recess is over. 31 years, 31 years for getting his own shit back. Yeah,
they set him up, man. He should have.
And the same thing, and the same thing,
a speeding ticket, man.
The same thing happened with Pac. Pac shot the cop down there. He was getting away with too much, and they found a way to jam him up.
We know that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? That's exactly what happened. Pac was wild. You know, he kept beating these cases. You know, once they want you and they want to get you, they're gonna get you. You know what I mean? And they try to make an example out of him. You know what I mean? And that's why you see his music went from positive to angry. And he said it. He's like, look, man, I was doing my music for black people. I never would expect to be shot by my own people. I was doing music for black women, brown women. I never expect a woman to convince me and make a lie up and say, you know what I mean, that I raped her. You know what I mean? So that's when he started getting angry. It was before he went to death row. You know what I mean? It was just, you know what I mean, a pattern of things, bro.
Yeah, but I think he's the blueprint and Biggie's the blueprint. Tell you why. Biggie was an underground rapper, and Puff. If you would have let Biggie go, Biggie would have been an underground rapper. Puff was blowing up Mary J. and Jodeci and all along. He got the beats and made him rap to Juicy, made him rap. You know what I mean? And then it turned into Big Papa, right? And then the same shit with Pop. I don't think people really take consciousness straight on, right? So like if you preachy, that's for some people, but the knuckleheads won't take that. It's like when you do preachy, you preaching to the converted. You know what I'm saying? You speaking to the converted. But Pop had a way of doing gangster music, but then he had consciousness where it hit you more. Like so you listen to this, and when he talked that shit, you just like. And I think all artists after that, I know I definitely used the Biggie playbook, Fat Joe. So it's like all artists after that, you know, learned from them. And that became the DNA of consciousness. Well, you can have 2 or 3 songs, fuck the police, this, that, and then throw, how do you want it? Like, you know what I mean? So it wasn't just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You gotta speak to the people in their language, you know what I mean? And I think that's what they both was doing. They both was, you know what I mean, giving the people what they want to hear. Like you said, you can't be conscious, especially at that particular time, you know what I mean, all day. And Pac knew that. That's why he would have this record out speaking about this, and the next it was going from the left side to the right side. You know, that people would say, oh, this dude is split personalities, he got this, but Pac knew what he was doing, you know what I mean? And that's it was very, you know what I mean? And that's what the hood is about. When you go to the hood, that's our lives in the hood. You know what I mean? We want to be positive. We want to do good. We like to hear these positive words, but then again, our environment is violent. So you know what I mean? So that's what their music was about, bro. Definitely.
Man, let me tell you something, man. I commend you. I plan to be out there in Saudi Arabia sooner than later. Once they throw that bazooka bag my way and open up. But how did the corona do? Shorty, same thing. Everybody masked up. Everybody hand sanitizer.
Everybody masked up, man. The Saudi government ain't playing. You walk out without a mask, you get a $300-400 ticket. You know, they ain't playing. They giving you that ticket. If you're a foreigner, they kicking you out of there. You know what I mean? I have a coffee shop, man. If somebody walk in without a mask in my coffee shop and they catch it, they're gonna fund us, I think, $10,000. You know what I mean? 10,000 riyals. My bad. 10,000 riyals. $3,000. So they ain't playing, man. They implementing it. You know what I mean? They definitely did. They definitely did a good thing.
Did it hit Saudi hard, or because they so militant with it, they was able to prevent a lot of it?
They prevented a lot of it at the beginning because they shut everything down. Like, they was the first ones that shut down international, domestic traveling. You know what I mean? Like, right now, if you in Saudi, you stuck. You ain't leaving until September. They said they're going to open the flights back up. So they shut everything down. They put a curfew. We still got a curfew. 8 p.m., everybody got to go in the house. You know what I mean? So they really set it up, man, where they did a good job. You know what I mean?
So they did a great job.
They did a great job, man.
You know, we got mixed emotions. People think, you know, Trump bullshit with it. You know what I mean? Like, and then we feel like as Americans, they walking around here like, they walking around, man. They walking around the streets acting like it ain't no COVID-19. Like, no, they walking around no man. Like, yo, what you talking about? You know, Nori, my brother Nori be calling me with his mans, and they be like, nah, come outside, Joey. They be teasing me. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, they better stop playing with it, man. That's the problem. They playing with it, man. You know,
no, they playing. Yo, they are playing with it. They are playing with it. In a major way. I ended like this, Napoleon.
For sure.
Who's in your top 5? Greatest
top
rappers
5,
of all
man.
time.
You know what I mean? You know, when I became Muslim, man, I did it all. I just stopped listening to music. I stopped, you know, it left a bad taste in my mouth, just what I went through in the music industry. But if I would say my top 5, it definitely Pop. You know what I mean? Pop,
Will
Ice
it be
Cube.
it would be a
Pre-Islam.
top 5 pre-Muslim?
Yeah, pre-Muslim.
Okay.
So I don't confuse the people that say, man,
Yeah, don't confuse the people.
talking
Damn
about
right.
practice a lot. Definitely would be, you know, Pop, Scarface, Ice Cube, Big Pun. You know what I mean? Big Pun was one of them. Definitely Big Pun. You know what I mean? Nas. You know what I mean? But I have to go. I would have to throw you up in there, man. I would need a top 10.
Hey,
you know
listen,
what I mean?
man,
Like
don't
I said,
worry
I saw you.
man. I'm a journalist.
I saw you
now,
come from.
man.
I saw you come from the gutter. You know what I mean? My mother Puerto Rican. I think I told you that, right?
No, I never knew that.
My mother's Puerto Rican, man. But I was raised with my black side because my parents got killed in front of me when I was 3 years old. So I didn't really know my Puerto Rican side. So when you came out and Big Pun came out, that was letting me know, like, this is also my culture. So I was listening to these lyrics and I was paying attention. It wasn't no Puerto Rican rappers back then. You know what I mean?
He said these motherfuckers coming, they bringing that motherfucking noise, these two big fat niggas.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Khaled told me, shout out to Khaled, salam alaikum. Khaled told me, he said, yo, Joe, man, he said, Fat Joe is Fat Joe. He said, but when Fat Joe and Big Pun used to walk in the building, he said, yo, I was there, Joe. I used to watch. He was like, yo, it was unreal. Y'all energy with y'all.
Nah, it was epic, bro. It was epic.
Man.
Let me tell you something. I had to get, because of the beef with Pac, I couldn't listen. I never listened to a Biggie album in my life. You know what I mean? Because of the beef with Pac, that's how ignorant I was with it. Like, man, I'm never listening to a Biggie. I can never listen to a Jay-Z. The only East Coast rappers I was listening to was Big Pun, Nas, Fat Joe, and Helter Skelter and them. You know what I mean? They was our family. Helter Skelter.
They was your family.
Buckshot Shorty and them. Yeah, that was our family. That was our peoples. You know what I mean? So that was it. Okay. But I had to listen to the Puerto Ricans, man. I started saying, man, this why I got a little wild side of me. Y'all was letting me know about my roots.
God bless you, number love. But when I go, inshallah,
sure.
to Saudi Arabia, I'll come out there and see you. I'll come in the coffee shop. You give me one of them strong coffees to keep me up.
Let's do it.
Let's
do it, bro.
Love,
appreciate that, man.
Love,
right, peace. One.
You don't know who I know. You don't know who I know. All the way from Saudi Arabia, Remy Ma for life. Her fan club is in here. You don't know who I know, man. It's so many stories I'd be scared to tell you guys because you think I'm lying. So I'd rather just thank you, Ro Parrish. Rashid Ben Hassid, The Big Show. Steve Lobel, thank you for making that happen. Amazing, man. Amazing. You heard some jumper moments there.